Hi everyone, it's Rax. I wanted to bring you a video summarizing my final thoughts on Diablo Immortal because I think I may be ending my playing career in this game. I'd like to talk to you about the entire progression of the game. Some of you may or may not care about that, but I've been testing this game since the alpha, and I think it's important to understand the progression of the game to show you how I actually feel about it. Before I start, I want to say that in general, I'm usually very pro Blizzard. I literally stream their games all the time. I've been playing their games since I was like 12 years old. They have been my favorite gaming company, even when they really let me down. I still try to stick by Blizzard. I felt very honored that Blizzard let me test the game ahead of time and try to help. I do not think that I'm God's gift to Earth and that all of my ideas are great or Blizzard should do everything that I say. So with those things out of the way, I want to tell you how I actually feel about Immortal before I stop playing. Now, the number one question that I get by far is, Rax, why are you playing Diablo Immortal? The most truthful answer to that is I promised my team I would play until the Rite of Exile. The Rite of Exile is tomorrow, actually. It's the second Sunday after the game releases. The Rite of Exile is the battle where you compete to become the Immortals. So we fight tomorrow. Hopefully we become the Immortals. I might play a little bit as the Immortals. And I don't see myself continuing this game unless we see some changes. So that's the real reason in why I'm still playing. At its very core, I thought Diablo Immortal had a lot of potential, but a lot of things, in my opinion, went very wrong that are really holding it back. So let's go back. Let's go back to the alpha of the game. Okay, when it all started, and this is about, I don't know, about 1 year ago. Okay. So keep in mind, 1 year ago. So logged in and I played the alpha a ridiculous amount, okay, to test the game. To give you an idea, I was Paragon 150, Rob was Paragon 149, and the next highest in the world, any testing region, was, I think, Echo Hack at Paragon 102. So Rob and I were Ultima blasting the alpha. So 1 year before the game's release, excuse me, we play the alpha, and the game, it certainly has its problems, right? Crusaders were 1,000 times stronger than every other class. The battlegrounds were extremely unfair. If you were really powerful, you can just one-shot everybody. There was no pay to win in the alpha. Obviously, there was no resonance. So your combat rating was really all of your power. And there were no caps in the game. You could just play and play and play and get stronger. Another big thing to understand is because there were no caps, it was all based on combat rating. And because zone events weren't the zone events that you're used to now, the game was completely different because there was a huge incentive to play. There was a huge incentive to log in and maximize these zone events because in order to increase your combat rating by upgrading, you needed yellows, which dropped in the zone events. So what the game was it was a very social MMO that rewarded playing. It was, think of all the top players as a little school of fish. And they would look at all the zone events, the carriage in the cemetery, the big monster in Mount Zivane, the pages in Zoltan Kuhl. Since they came up so frequently, we would move as a school of fish between the different difficulties and the different zone events, and we would work together to maximize our yellows to keep upgrading to pump our combat rating. Right? We were doing all the events in the game that Blizzard had designed. We were getting a lot of legendaries. We were having a lot of fun. And everybody knew everybody. You would be moving along again as the School of Ish, and then you'd see Echo Hack join me. Oh, Echo Hack woke up. Oh, here comes Lexi. Oh, here comes Mr. K. Here comes Z. They all woke up, and now we're blasting as a bunch of friends. When the zone events are down, we would all split up into different dungeons. There were no set items at the time. We'd all split up and do whichever dungeons we want to do. And that's how we spent our day. So, can you imagine our opinion seeing this in the alpha? No pay to win, no residence. The zone events are really fun. We're all playing together. There's a huge sense of camaraderie. And we think to ourselves, with 1 year of development on top of this game, they could make the game amazing. And we have huge hopes that this could be a fantastic game on launch. So when I was done testing the alpha, I'll show you something here. I made this Word document. It's 19 pages long. Put a lot of time into it. I played for 400 hours and Paragon 150. I have a super high combat rating. I played 2 classes. I became the Immortal. I played a bunch of Battlegrounds. Here's what I think about the classes. Here's what I think about all the different activities on how to make it better. Attacking, defending. Here's the bestiary. Here's bounties. Here's the campaign. You get it. There's 19 pages of stuff here. And at the very bottom, I put here's like a nice to have list. I wish we could fix the keyboard in the game. I can't talk to anybody. Equipment manager, we actually got this. Option to auto skip cutscenes, we didn't get that. More battleground maps, we didn't get that. More diverse dailies, we kind of got that. Factions need to be rebalanced, they fixed that, etc. Okay? I'm not the end-all, be-all. I'm not the smartest tester. They shouldn't just do what I tell them to. But I did play the game incessantly. I do have, I think, the players and Blizzard's best interest in mind. This is how it felt in the alpha. It got a big, gigantic green check mark. Okay? Now imagine what happens on launch. Now let's see how the game looks that you guys all saw. So we have the PC beta, first of all, and I understand what the term beta means. People like to always remind me what beta means. It means it doesn't, it essentially means it doesn't work, right? And you need to test it, we need to fix it. That's fine. However, I do find that there is one thing that I expect. If the controls don't work, that they will be fixed promptly. If I can't move and shoot, then you would fix that, right? That's to me, the bare minimum expectation, right? If I tell you I can't move or attack, the rest of it can take forever. And I guess I just don't completely understand how it works for a gigantic behemoth company to make a change. But 3 weeks in, I still cannot move and shoot on my Demon Hunter. That, to me, is heartbreaking. I can't tell you how many times I've died in a battleground, I've died on a boss. Yeah, my ability to shoot the wrong way just because I can't move. So that, to me, has been a big letdown that I still can't move 3 weeks after the game is launched. And then, of course, we have the caps everywhere. There's like this chain reaction. Everything is capped. They capped our upgrades. They capped how much stuff you can get per day, the materials. And so this has completely destroyed the incentive to play. Right now, for the second time already in my Immortal career, without playing a crazy amount of hours, I could have played so many more. For the second time, my Demon Hunter has absolutely nothing to do. I will be Paragon 40 by the Rite of Exile. I will have my gear at level 9. Not that that even matters at all, but there's nothing for me to do. So I already have like a Paragon 13 Necro. Leveled it completely very soon. He'll be Paragon 30. I got 7 levels. 8 levels yesterday just doing my dailies because they give me such a high boost, etc. I could go into this in extreme detail, but I'm going to save you the trouble. But the caps in the game have completely erased the incentive to log in. I can't get any stronger. And you want to know what's the funny thing about it? Let's say they hadn't capped this stuff. Let's say they hadn't capped the upgrade materials. that actually wouldn't have changed the game at all. Let's say that there weren't the caps and I could have kept blasting and blasting and blasting. And let's even say that my gear was like plus 16. Well, if it continues at plus 24 around, that's 8, that's 160, that's 32, that's what, 192, something like that, plus 192 combat rating. That would have put me at roughly, let's see, 8, 16 minus 8, 1968 combat rating right now. I would be at 1968 combat rating. You know where that puts me in reference to the whales? Nowhere near them. And then you might think to yourself, well, maybe they put the caps in the game to thwart botting. No, that doesn't thwart botting. It doesn't stop it. It actually promotes botting, because the botters are going to be a higher paragon than me if they aren't banned, and they're going to get the upgrades before me. So not only does it not hinder botting, it helps botting, and you would have never helped me catch the whales. This combat rating doesn't help me, because combat rating doesn't help anyway. Combat rating is capped in PvP, and the only thing that matters is resonance, which is pure pay to win, and playing the game doesn't help you increase your resonance. So all these caps not only ruined my experience, it didn't help the whales, and it didn't stop the botters. Nothing. I do not understand why these were here. To me, unless I'm missing something, all it did was ruin my experience. This topic has been talked about so much. I don't want to sit here and talk about it 10 million times. We all know the game is very pay to win. You can't win anything as a free-to-play player or even a medium spender unless your server completely sucks. If you won as a free-to-play player in anything, it just means that you don't have any spenders on your server. That's the only thing that it means. You have absolutely no chance of beating them. Their power level is way too high. They could have picked a much less predatory model. This is the model that they chose. I understand that the developers don't choose that. That's fine. They got nothing to do with that. They just make the game. So let's try to go back into the actual game. And, another thing that I don't understand is the zone events. They nerfed it extremely, right? They nerfed it. They almost never occur, and they also just don't matter anymore because of these caps. I could skip every zone event for the rest of my life, and it's not going to matter. I can still be as strong as a free-to-play player can possibly be, which I am right now. If you look at my Demon Hunter cannot get stronger. As a quote-unquote free-to-play player, I spent $40 on the first day. I got absolutely nothing. I said, that's enough. I'm not going to spend any more. Haven't spent a cent since. I'm as strong as I can possibly be as a free-to-play player. I don't understand why we crucified this and why we changed this, because this was the most fun part about the game. It made it a social MMO. I saw all my friends all the time. We were working together to achieve a common task. This is where this is what we did. This is what made the game fun. Why did you make all these fun zone events if we weren't meant to do them all the time? Now, to be very clear, I understand that these zone events were happening way too often, and they didn't like maybe the structure of it. But this is way too severe of a change. You made them the most fun, most exciting thing to worthless. I really just don't get it. So, in conclusion, I wrote another document on release. I wrote another 8-page document talking about the caps and the Paragon and the zone events and bounties and the bestiary and the layers, heavy ornate chests and the charms that don't do anything, the battle pass, the battlegrounds. They made the battlegrounds better. There's still some problems. There's still too much CC. The bandages weren't working. It's way easier to defend. I don't know why battlegrounds go down. The pay to win ruins it. You can't queue with your friends, etc. So I made another document and I sent it to Blizzard, trying to help again on launch. I'm trying to help, man. I'm trying. But I think after 3 weeks of this, I still can't move. I'm still crushed by the whales and everything. I'm almost to legend tier in PvP, trying to do it as a free to play, sub 400 resonance player. but it's just so hard, man. It is so impossible for me to make a significant difference in these battlegrounds. I multi-shot a whale, it hits them for 5% of their health, they auto-attack me once, and 90% of my health is gone. The PvP is essentially completely ruined. Whenever there's a game at my tier, I'm halfway through Gold 4 right now, trying to get to Legend. If there's a game where I'm the MVP of my team, we're pretty much guaranteed to lose. Because if I'm the strongest person, or if I'm the person playing the best on our team, we're doomed, right? Because I just don't have any power because I didn't spend a lot of money in the game. After 3 weeks of this, I think I've pretty much had enough. I do think that Blizzard could make changes to make the game better, and they could make it a lot better for free-to-play players. By the way, one comment that has to be made. The crafting system that they added for free-to-play players is essentially completely worthless. Maybe you guys have seen the videos. It takes you like, if you do the math, it takes you like 52 years to get a five-star gem, an actual 5-star gem. And it doesn't matter. Even if you do get one, you don't have the gem power to upgrade it. I have a 2 out of 5 Seeping Bile. That's the luckiest thing that's happened to me. I can't upgrade it. It costs 50 gem power to upgrade it 1 rank. I can't even upgrade my Seeping Bile a single rank as a free-to-play player. So, I don't know. I guess I got to wait for 5 million years to level it up to rank 2. Or just not use it, I guess. But I think they thought that their new crafting system would help free-to-play players. It really doesn't. It doesn't do anything. Another thing is they nerfed rare crests. I don't know why they did this. This was kind of a dirty move. Rare crests were the only hope that we had, and rare crests can no longer give you 2-star gems. They can only give you 1 star. At least according to the tooltip, and I've never gotten 2-star out of them. So you nerfed rare crests and you replaced it with a crafting system that doesn't help us at all. In fact, both the times that I crafted my random 1-star legendary, which is once every 10 days, both times I got a 1-star gem. So I worked for 20 straight days to get 2 1-star gems, which is like 2 gem power, which is absolutely nothing. So I gained no power whatsoever. You could make it better for free-to-play players, but if I were to put on my Blizzard executive hat right now, and I'm thinking about the game, you only get 1 chance to make a first impression. What is the impression of the game? I think, based on everything that I've seen, the internet speaks very loudly. So maybe there are a lot of people that aren't on the internet. They aren't on Twitch. They aren't on YouTube. They aren't on Reddit. And they are actually enjoying the game. And that's fine. And by the way, it should be said, you can enjoy the game, download it for free, not spend any money, enjoy the game, absolutely, as long as you don't want to be competitive. If you don't want to win anything, then as long as that doesn't bother you, then certainly you can do that. But maybe there is a big, the vast majority of people just download it and play, and maybe they're enjoying it, and that would be fantastic. But from everything that I've heard online, and online speaks loudest, the first impression was not good, mostly because of the pay-to-win stuff. So the first impression is already out. And then we say, well, should we normalize battlegrounds now? Should we normalize PvP? And then if we do that, should we let people queue with their friends because it's normalized, it's fair, you can play with whoever you want? And I don't know if you should do that because the whales spent copious amounts of disposable income on the game to smash the plankton, the free-to-play players. If you now all of a sudden normalize it, is it within their right to now charge back or request refunds for all the money? Would Blizzard risk that? As an executive, I'm not sure that they would be willing to risk that, or if anything like that is ever going to happen. Sure, you could buff free-to-play, and that would help, certainly, but it's always going to end up being the pay-to-win game, right? The people who spend the money are going to win the game. It's the nature of the mobile economic system. So, although I would like to be able to move and shoot and have a fair PvP system and also be able to queue with my friends and not be capped and go do all these fun zone events, Do I think all of this is gonna happen? Probably not. It's a complete 180 from what they currently have, and it's what they had before. It is what we had in the alpha, and they took 1 year to change it to this. So anyway, I'm going to play until the Rite of Exile. I'm going to play a little bit as the Immortals, and my plan at that time is probably to stop playing this game. I do still like Blizzard, especially the developers. I was very happy to be involved in the testing. I don't think it was a waste of my time at all. So I appreciate that. But my overall feelings about how this turned out, based upon what it could have been, is, I got to be honest with you, I'm very disappointed. And part of the reason that I would feel that I'm more disappointed than most people is because of how I spent my time in the alpha and how the game was fun. With 1 year of development to go, what could the game become? It essentially did a complete 180 in my eyes in the wrong direction and took out the incentive to play the game. It turned into a complete pay-to-win, clown fiesta. And the beta on the client that I want to play, I understand there's going to be problems. I couldn't move or shoot, and 3 weeks later, I still can't move and shoot. That is extremely disappointing to me. I think it's a big missed opportunity. One thing that I would like to say before I go, something positive, is Blizzard did make some good changes. The class balance in Diablo Immortal is one of the best I've ever seen for any release. Any class can do some very great things in both PvE and PvP. That's incredible. They did a really good job there. They did polish, believe it or not, they did polish a lot of the bug fixes that we found in the alpha. So it's not like they sat around and did nothing or just built a system to make a lot of money. They did make the game better in some aspects. But I think there's too many core fundamental problems that were introduced that, at least for me as a player, I'm just one player, are making it not that fun. Those are my final thoughts on Diablo Immortal. What do you guys think? How are you honestly interpreting this game? Are you having fun? Have you already quit playing? And we'll be going into Diablo 3 Season 27 very soon. We'll go into the Diablo 2 Season 2 ladder race and try to smash our existing world record. Maybe Blizzard will let me alpha test or beta test D4, or who knows? Maybe they're going to see this video and then they're going to hate me forever, and I guess that's just something I have to live with. But you want a tester for D4? I'm here all the time. Thank you, guys.